friends. So today we are going to read about Claude Monet, who was a very famous artist. Now we're going to also learn more about him during this time. And at the end of the video, I'd like for you to tell me what you've learned. You might also see my cat Muffy in the background. She'll probably come and leave at that spot, but she's really enjoying the sunlight right now. So this is the magical garden of Claude Monet. And if you don't see the pictures right away, that's all right. I will go and I will make them closer to you at one point. I wish you had a garden, said Julie. She looked down at the drab river which ran through the city. Even Louis, the greyhound, was bored about being inside. As soon as I have finished this painting, said Julie's mother, I'll take you on a journey to the most beautiful garden in the world. It belongs to my old friend, the painter, Claude Monet. They took a big black train beside the twisting river far out of the city. And into the countryside, and Louis began to run down the hill and into the lane where a huge wall stood around a mysterious garden. Stop, Louis, called Julie, but it was too late. Louis had gone. Julie didn't know what to do. She had gotten down on her hands and knees and wriggled inside. It was like crawling into a dreamy world where twisting plants grew tall as trees. Julie ran around the corner and almost knocked over the big man with the spade. The man wore a straw hat and had a huge white beard. Oh, said Julie, I'm looking for my dog. Are you the gardener? I suppose I am, said the man. Come and look. One day, these tiny seedlings will grow into big flowers. Hold on a second, friends. I just want to make sure I didn't skip the page. Yep, we're good. But a gardener has to be very patient, just like a painter. Then Julie realized. You are Claude Monet, she gasped. Yes, laughed the old man. I am Claude Monet. Together they searched for Louis along the shady path deeper and deeper to the magical garden until it seemed as if they left the real world behind. Under a willow, Julie saw Monet's umbrella, like a huge white mushroom, and there was Louis. He had a blue nose and purple ear and one green paw. Naughty dogs, shouted Julie. You've walked all over Mr. Monet's paints. I think your dog wants to be a painter, laughed Monet. Look, he made a picture too. Then Julie saw Monet's paintings laid out in the sun to dry. Clouds floating on the mere pond, a field of golden haystacks, a little Japanese bridge, a row of wispy poplars, and the brush marks glowed like flowers in the garden. Now this painting right here is the one we're going to try to recreate on our own. That is one of Claude Monet's most famous paintings. They turned the handle on the rickety gate and stepped inside. It was like a garden inside. A garden, a wild, wet, watery garden where willows bowed over the silent pool. Together they crossed the green bridge. So this is their version of the bridge with the beautiful pond underneath it. Ooh, this is fun, guys. Look at that. It opens up. They rowed across the pond, and it felt like floating in Mr. Monet's paintings. All right, let's see if I can do this. So we got this page, and it goes into this page. And before, it was like we kind of opened up this garden. How pretty is that? Julie heard the splash of the oars and birds calling in the trees. All around them, lilies sparkled in the midnight sky. When they reached the very middle of the pool, Monet stretched into the dark water and pulled out one flower. the biggest lily of them all, as bright as a silver star. A little present from my water garden, he said. They walked back toward the house, and Monet pushed open the huge studio door. Here is my biggest idea of all, he said proudly. I am trying to paint the most enormous water garden in the world. When you stand in the middle, you feel as though you have dived into the pool. It will be amazing, said Julie. For a moment, Monet looked sad. But to tell the truth, I wonder if I will ever finish. He said, I am old now, and my eyesight is bad. Julie thought for a moment. You will need to be very patient, she said, like a gardener. Yes, he smiled, just like a gardener. Then Claude Monet pulled out a big watch. 6 o'clock precisely. Time to eat. Now, Miss Anderson has actually seen this painting before. It's one of my favorites, and I have always really, really enjoyed seeing it again and again. Waiting in the yellow dining room, surrounded by pictures of Japan, sat Mrs. Monet and Juliet's mother. Here you are, you little runaway, said Monet. Then it was time to leave. Monet walked with them as far as the river. Louis wanted to say goodbye too, but as he jumped up, Julie's beautiful lily went flying into the river. Oh, Louis! shouted Julie. It was my special lily. They took the train back to the city, and even Louis was tired. The garden seemed to be a distant dream. But in the middle of the night, Julie heard Louis whining to go outside. She tiptoed through the apartment. Beneath the balcony, something was sparkling out of the river. Julie ran outside and stretched into the dark water. She pulled out a lily as bright as a silver star. Perhaps it's a little present from the water garden, she whispered, and as the city slept, she breathed in the sweet smell of the magical garden of Claude Monet. Now we just have some really cool pictures and details of him. So Claude Monet was born 1840, and he lived his life on the River Seine, and that's a river actually in France. And let's see, we're just going to go quickly through here. In 1883, he was very poor, and he lived that way his whole life, it kind of seemed. But he used his family. See, I told you Muffy probably would come up here. And he used his family to just really make sure that he stayed true. Now, I want you guys to tell me something that you learned while reading this book about Claude Monet. Did you learn about him being as patient as a gardener? Did you learn about him and how he loved his river, where he's from, when he was born? Any of those are some great examples. I hope you're all doing well, and I hope to see you all soon. Bye, friends.